Beware of overly friendly neighbours, especially if they look like a disabled child has tried to make James Caan out of paper mache. From 2002, this is Video Voyeur, the Susan Wilson story. I'm Jay Harangue and I've wasted hours of my life watching terrible films.
You should subscribe.
So this one is based on a true story, and I've previously been asked if I think it's okay to laugh at really bad stuff that's actually happened to people, and the answer is yes, I do. So let's get on with it. This is Susan Wilson and she's the main character.
Hi.
She and her family have just moved into a close-knit church community. There's her husband Gary, their daughter Emily, and their son Orin.
Come again?
Yes, Orin. Susan's high school friend Steve has been instrumental in getting her family into the community, and he's done so much to help them move. Susan's starting to wonder what they'd do without him.
We got a pool and a hot tub out back, so you all come over anytime you like, whether we're home or not.
Yeah, more on that later. Steve is the deacon at the church, whatever the fuck that means. On Sunday, he introduces the Wilsons to the elders and to the Bennetts, who also moved in recently. Oh, and here's Steve's wife, Nancy. She was at school with Steve and Susan too. Nancy tells Susan and Gary how much work Steve does in their community. Gary's like, wow, Steve, sounds like you do a lot.
Oh, it's nothing. I enjoy it.
Later at a baseball game, Steve introduces Susan to Joanne, who's married to one of the elders. She invites Susan to join her running club.
Well, thank you.
The next morning at running club, we find out that at school, Nancy was out of Steve's league, but he sent her flowers every day until she eventually caved in. Later at home, Susan's daughter Emily tells her how she hates it here because she hasn't made any friends. So Susan invites all the neighbourhood families with kids her age over for a barbecue. Steve takes a load of photos but has to leave early because he needs a shit.
You're all welcome to stop by and jump in the hot tub when you're through here.
Again with the hot tub. The next day when Susan gets home, she finds Steve in her front yard planting a tree. She's like, what are you doing, Steve? He's like, oh, it's a pear tree. I also did a bit of weeding out the back. She's like, okay, thanks, Steve. When Gary gets home, their other neighbour, Mr. Bishop, tells him how he saw Steve at his house, doing a load of gardening and hanging around on the roof. Gary's like, Steve, what were you doing on my roof?
Yeah, I noticed some wire came loose from your pole, so I disconnected it in the attic.
Later that night, Gary joins Susan in the shower and then they bang. Susan thinks she hears a noise coming from the roof, but Gary's like, no, it's fine. It's probably just a cat.
Maybe.
The next day, Susan bumps into Steve at the hardware store and he asks what she's doing. She's like, oh, I just picked up some wallpaper for the bathroom. Steve's like, oh, good, I'll come round to your house now and start putting it up. And Susan's like, okay. So that's happening. Nancy comes over and asks Emily if she's seen her husband. And she's like, yeah, he's hanging wallpaper for my mum.
Steve, what are you doing?
Helping Susan with her wallpaper. What's it look like?
She's like, can you go and do some work at our house, please? And he's like, ugh, fine. The next day, Susan goes running with Mary Bennett and starts telling her how she's finding Steve a bit much. Mary's like, maybe tell him to fuck off, but she's like, no, I can't do that. He's a deacon. And lo and behold, when she gets home, Steve is fetching his mail.
Good run?
My legs hurt a little bit.
Well, if you're tight, maybe you should jump in the hot tub.
Well, we'd be in your way.
We can change right there in the laundry room.
Thank you.
So finally, Steve has got someone to agree to get in his hot tub. Emily's like, I don't want Steve seeing me in my swimsuit, Mum. He's a creep. But Susan's like, don't worry, he's not going to be there. Later that night, Susan and Gary decide to go on a camping trip. And of course, when they leave, Steve is there to wave them off. He's agreed to feed the fish while they're away. But when they get home from the trip, they find Steve and his family living in their house. Gary's like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, our furnace stopped working, so we moved in.
Are you serious?
And Steve even fed your fish.
Steve's like, it's okay, the kids slept in the living room and me and Nancy slept in Emily's bed. We'll be off now, bye.
I slept in my bed.
What can I say?
I don't know, maybe don't move into our house?
Yeah.
Later that night, Gary's like, okay, this is a bit much now. We need to distance ourselves from Steve and his family. And Susan agrees. So they start ignoring him, not returning his phone calls and pretending they don't hear him when he bangs relentlessly on the door. The next morning when Susan gets out of the shower.
Talk about a bad hair day. Ugh.
But she needs to get the mail. Of course, Steve is there ready to pounce and tell Susan he's sorry for moving in while they were away. She's like, don't worry, Steve, it's all forgotten.
I don't think you're having a bad hair day.
As you're still watching, please do me a favor and press the like button. Apparently it helps me out. Also, please consider joining my Patreon where you can watch a number of my videos that aren't on YouTube. This week, supporters will be able to watch my video on 1997's Air Force One. Get off my plane, yeah. It's only $3 a month to join. The link's in the description, thanks. Right, back to this film. As soon as Gary gets home, Susan's like, right, we need to go out for lunch. When they get there, she's like, okay, I'm pretty certain Steve's eavesdropping on us. That would explain how he knows where I am at all times. But Gary's like, well, we can't say anything because we've got no proof. The next morning at running club, Mary and this girl Tish ask Susan what's wrong. And she's like, I think Steve is bugging our house.
Whoa, what? I look in the mirror and I say, talk about a bad hair day. Steve's right there in front of me telling me I'm not having a bad hair day.
Mary's like, I knew Steve was obsessed with you. And Susan's like, yeah, and he's always taking photos and making videos.
Well, there's something wrong here, that's for sure, and we need to find out what.
So the plan is to wait until Steve leaves for work, let themselves into his house, and start snooping around. At first, they find nothing of note until Mary looks at a few of his unlabeled videotapes.
Just Mr. and Mrs. Wholesome America celebrating with their children.
Well, we ought to screen a few more of them just to be thorough.
Oh,
Oh my God, that's them having sex.
Really?
that's not their bed. It's ours.
So they get home and start copying the tapes. Mary's like, you need to tell the police. But Susan's like, no way, I don't want anyone else knowing about this. The sex isn't the only thing on the tapes, by the way. There's videos of Susan in the shower and...
Oh my God, that's me on the toilet. Why would anyone...
Because he's disgusting.
When Gary gets back, he's like, what are you watching? And Susan's like, oh, just some tapes Steve made of us having sex. There's one of me having a shit if you want to watch with us.
Turn it off. I'll take the tape back to him and I'll shove it up his...
Gary, no.
She's like, we can't have the kids finding out about this.
Whoa, what's going on?
Steve's been making home movies of us
Well, how? Where's the camera?
in the attic.
So while Susan returns the original tapes to Steve's house, Gary and Mike Bennett go up to the attic to see if they can find the camera.
Come here, come here. What do you got?
Yeah, it's not just a small camera, it's a TV and video recorder.
Wow, that's big.
Now, people I know use their attics for storage, and that's if they don't convert it into a bedroom or office. How the hell did Steve expect this stuff not to be found? Ridiculous. Anyway, there's no sound on the tape, so they think there might be more to find. They see a hole in the ceiling in the kids' bathroom, and that's just too much for Gary, so he's calling the police. But they won't be over until tomorrow morning, so Susan sleeps in the closet. Now, I know I always bang on about the useless Lifetime Police Department, but bearing in mind this is a true story, you won't believe how bad this lot are. They're like, what's the actual crime?
Creeping around in our attic and taking dirty movies.
I've never written that out before.
Well, may as well not bother then. Steve sees the police at the Wilsons' house, so goes to see Gary at work. He's like, what were the police doing at your house earlier, Gary?
Actually, they're coming to get you.
What do you think I should do?
Turn yourself in, and you stay away from my family.
Look, for what it's worth.
Get out of here, Steve.
So Steve does turn himself in.
What was your motivation for making those tapes?
Maybe that I have a mental problem.
What sort of mental problem?
Depression.
Oh, right, that'll do it. Steve says the officers are okay to search his house, but when they get there...
This is what you're looking for?
This is all of them?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, what?
That's right, they're just taking her word for it. While Steve is over at the farm, burning all the best ones. The police aren't the worst people in this story, though, after Steve, of course. No, that'll be the neighbors, particularly Joanne.
He made videotapes of us in our bedroom and bathroom.
So he's crossed some very inappropriate boundaries.
To put it mildly, yes.
It's not like you were raped or robbed. Besides, maybe you were leading him on.
Susan's like, thanks, Joanne, you can fuck off now. Later in the video shop...
Hey, Em, any of your mom's skin flicks back there? You look pretty hot.
So now they have to explain everything to the kids.
Mr. Glover.
He hid cameras in Mom and Dad's bedroom and bathroom.
He was watching us on the toilet and stuff?
Yep.
Does everybody know?
Are my friends gonna see this?
No, you don't have any. The next day at the police station, Susan's like, why are there only 5 tapes? I saw loads in his house. But they're like, no, you can't have done. These are the only ones his wife handed over.
I see.
That Sunday at church, Steve makes a speech where he apologizes for his action and blames the depression. Everyone at the church thinks Steve's really brave. And when Susan bumps into Joanne while shopping, she tells Susan that Steve's family are considering moving out of state.
You have no idea the heartache this has caused them.
The heartache it's caused them.
The next 15 minutes of the film are shit, and it's all about the family's feelings, so I'll skip that and get to the part where Susan next goes to the police station.
There's the performer.
Yeah.
Just ignore him.
Yeah, just ignore that member of the police department.
I know how hard this is for you.
You shouldn't feel ashamed, Mrs. Wilson. After all, you've got a really good figure.
What? Unbelievable. The next video they show Susan is a load of women getting changed into their swimsuits.
He's always inviting people over for a swim and telling them to change in the laundry room. Oh my God, that's my daughter, Emily. She's just a child.
Right, surely that's it for Steve now.
I don't think it would hold up in court.
Brilliant. So Susan goes to church and tells everyone she's seen videos of them all getting changed. But most of them are like, oh, come on now, let's move on. Steve said he's sorry.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Anyway, the rest of the film's pretty tedious business, so I'm going to summarize. Essentially, at the time this was made, there was no law against what Steve did, so he avoids jail. Susan then campaigns to change the law, and that happened. So now if you live in the US and your creepy neighbor sets up cameras in the loft and makes videos of you having sex, taking a shower, or having a shit, he can get done for it.
Good.
And that's the end of the film, so until next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and please consider joining my Patreon. There's a link in the description. Thank you.